We see success stories everywhere, right? The tech genius, the blockbuster author, the sports legend. We always see the highlight reel, the victory lap. But what if I told you the real story, the actual formula for getting there is completely different from what we all think? Well, today, we're going to pull back that curtain and find out the real recipe for success.
So that's what we're going to do. We are going to deconstruct the myths and really get to the core of what it takes. Because believe it or not, there actually is a tangible recipe for achieving incredible things.
So what is it then? Is it just some kind of magic? Are some people just born with this special talent that, guarantees them a spot at the top? Or is it that 1 in a million overnight breakthrough? Well, the answer to both of those questions is a big fat no.
In fact, it's way more straightforward. When you really peel back the layers of almost every single great success story, you don't find magic. What you find is a consistent pattern, a recipe, you could say, built on 3 fundamental ingredients.
Okay, so what are they? Here you go. Commitment, determination, and this last one, this might be the most important one of all, a willingness to fail. Yeah, you heard that right. Not seeing failure as an accident, but as a crucial, totally necessary part of the process itself. So how does that even work?
Yeah, let's start right there, with the ingredient that trips most people up, this idea of failing forward. It is, without a doubt, the most misunderstood part of the entire journey.
I mean, we're all taught that failure is a dead end, right? The end of the road. But what if that's totally wrong? What if failure is actually the pavement itself, the very material the road to success is built from, one oops at a time?
And look, we are not talking about small setbacks here. J.K. Rowling got rejected a dozen times, a dozen. Walt Disney went bankrupt, and Colonel Sanders failed in one business after another. Their success didn't happen in spite of these failures, it was forged because of them.
Okay, so that raises a super practical question, right? When you're in the thick of it, when you're failing and it feels like the world is literally trying to bury you, what do? What's the move?
Well, there's this great little story that nails this idea perfectly. So a donkey falls into a well. The farmer, he can't get it out, so he figures, well, I'll just bury it. So he starts shoveling dirt on top of this poor animal. I mean, it seems like the end, right? But what the donkey does next changes everything.
With every single shovel of dirt that landed on its back, the donkey did 2 simple things. First, it would shake the dirt off, and second, it would take a step up onto the new pile of earth. Shake it off, step up. Shake it off, step up.
And that, right there, is the whole trick. The very thing that was meant to bury the donkey became the way it escaped. It just kept shaking off the bad stuff and using it to climb higher. And this shows us that overcoming failure isn't just about what you do, it's about your mindset.
Because you see, shaking it off and stepping up, that's not just about external actions. The biggest battles, the real tough ones, they happen right between our own ears. Is your mind a cage holding you back, or is it the key that's going to set you free?
There's this amazing old Cherokee legend that talks about a fight going on inside every single one of us. It's a battle between 2 wolves. You've got one wolf, the wolf of fear, that just feeds on all the negative stuff, anger, ego, resentment, all of it. And then there's the other wolf, the wolf of joy, and it's nourished by things like peace, hope, and truth. So, if you've got this epic battle raging inside of you, which one wins? The answer? It's so simple, but it is powerful. The one you feed. You get to choose which thoughts, which emotions, which wolf you're going to nourish. And that choice determines everything.
But hold on a second. It's not always a conscious choice, is it? Sometimes we're held back by beliefs that are so old, so deep-seated, we don't even know they're there. They're like these invisible ropes that have been holding us back for years.
This is perfectly captured in the story of the elephant and the rope. You can have a massive, powerful elephant held in place by just a tiny little rope tied to its leg. Why? Because when it was a baby, that same rope was strong enough to hold it. It tried to break free and it failed. So now, as a full-grown adult, it just believes the rope is still stronger than it is. It never even tries to break free. And that just brings the whole thing right back home, doesn't it? What invisible ropes are holding you back? What belief are you clinging to just because you failed at something once, a long time ago? Deciding to break that rope is step 1. The next step is knowing what to do with that freedom. Okay, so that brings us to the final piece of our success recipe. Once you learn to embrace failure and you master your own mindset, how do you actually apply all this effectively? Well, this last part is all about preparation.
Because once you've got the right mindset, the final step is about understanding the huge difference between being busy and being effective. It's not just about working hard, it's about working smart. It's about preparation.
You know, there's this classic story about a woodcutter who was cutting fewer and fewer trees every day, even though he was working harder and harder. His boss comes over and asks him one simple question: "When was the last time you sharpened your axe?" And the woodcutter replies, "I have no time to sharpen my axe. I've been too busy trying to cut down trees."
And man, doesn't that just hit the nail on the head? It's such a common trap. We get so caught up in the doing, the chopping, that we totally forget to maintain our tools. Sharpening the axe, that means learning, practicing, resting, planning. It's all the preparation that makes the real work actually effective.
So as we wrap things up here, I'm going to leave you with that same question the boss asked the woodcutter. As you chase your own version of success, are you just busy swinging away with a dull blade, or are you taking the time to sharpen your axe? Your answer to that, well, that might just be the final ingredient